Hi, good morning, or afternoon, or evening, whichever it is, wherever you happen to be, or when you happen to be. Um, so, uh, Running Robot. This has been a project that's been around for a few years. So, in the first year, it was strictly done with classic RC car controls. But then we moved on to controlling the robots with phones, which opened up a whole new set of opportunities. So the original thing with Running Robot was, uh, yeah, it was named after the Schwarzenegger version of the Running Man movie. So you know they made a new Running Man movie last year, which was a lot more faithful to the original book, which is great. Uh, but the Running Man, the Schwarzenegger version of the Running Man movie, mm, it uh, it had the same title and it had a character by the same name. But other than that, it was a Schwarzenegger '80s film. You've got to watch it anyway. And so the original Running Man, or excuse me, the original Running Robot game just had uh, runners and stalkers, which were the stalkers were the robots that had the ability to shoot at the stalkers, and the stalkers were then trying to avoid getting shot. And they would run around obstacles, and it was fun. Um, but then, like I said, we decided to try some new options. And so the if you've seen the Running Robot game recently, it's been strictly uh, done on these metal tank-like chassis, and so there's some things that we still need to work through. The circuit board is kind of a thorn in the side of the game. So this is not the Running Robot circuit board. This is a prototype circuit board for the original IBM PC. Came out 45 years ago this month. Um, but the original circuit boards they were just prototype boards, not too different from this, maybe different in scale, but yeah. And then when we moved on to the different chassis and the phone controls, um, new circuit board had to be designed. And what we've been using so far has been someone else's circuit board. We won't not going to get into that too much, but designing the circuit board, uh, we're still waiting for one that we can. One of our own design that actually works. And it's not an inherently hard problem. The problems that they've had have all been self-induced problems, and we can talk about that uh, later once the project's actually underway. But this is going to be a big part of the effort, is to actually get that working circuit board uh, to the minimum that it needs to work, so that then we can work on adding additional features. Um, we're going to want another game mode. So I mentioned the original Running Robot game was just strictly uh, you uh, stalkers versus uh, runners. Um, not a whole lot of well, I won't say not a lot of imagination, but not a lot of um, special tasks in it, let's say. So a couple years ago, we added a new game. I was kind of inspired by soccer. It became known as it became more of a capture the flag game, but the flag is still these balls. Um, Last year we introduced another game mode. I was inspired by the Olympic biathlon. Became known as the target practice mode. Um, so I don't know what our new game mode is going to be, but I'd like to see another game mode. The more ways we can play with these robots, the more interesting it'll be. Um, the A couple years ago, the first year that we ported it to run on the phones, one of the things we did was gave the ability to have first person view. So right now, especially that first year, you're just kind of watching it from a god's eye view. Even with working with the phone, you can look at the controls or look at the camera view on your phone, but there's nothing to stop you from looking up and again having that god's eye view. So we also had it set up so that you could stick your phone in the Google Cardboard and just limit your view to the first person view. The last year we redid the uh, the phone app to so that it could also run on an iPhone. And I'm not sure, but I think we lost the first person or lost the Google Cardboard in the process. So it might be nice to get that back. We'd also been talking about having it be able to run in an Oculus headset, which is, you know, same of limiting yourself to the first person view. Um, but perhaps another direction to go, as long as we're talking about different ways to control the game, is to create a web app. So last year, uh, when we rewrote the app, the phone app, it was done in React Native so that it was nice and easily portable. Well, as long as you got the React, maybe we could do it on the web app, which that might be a nice easy way for people to start engaging with the game. Let's see. Another thing that might be nice. So right now there's just let's turn that sound off. So right now there's just the one camera looking forward. I guess we have it looking down in the direction the gun points. So maybe we could have a separate camera for the gunner versus a different camera for the driver. Or maybe we could have one of those 360 cameras, because then you might actually be able to look around. If you notice these guys here, they keep having to look around. Oh, let's. Yeah, so I think we're gonna have some looking around here. So they have to keep looking around to see where the other players are. And if you don't pay close enough attention, then someone might sneak up on you, and suddenly you're like, "Oh, wait, who's that?" So it might be nice to be able to look around. Okay. Of course, despite the name, our running robots don't actually run. Some of them have wheels, some of them have treads. None of them have legs. So I don't think we're going to be able to do any real running, but maybe we can do some ambulating. This might be a fun thing to try. There's lots of open source 3D printable quadruped designs out there. I think there are also some hexapod designs out there. So lightsaber sold extra. Okay. Let's see. Another thing might be fun is to provide a programming mode. So something that I've been wanting for a couple of years is to be able to have the kind of an autonomous control piece. Maybe the human is the driver and a AI, not generative AI thing, but some sort of AI or algorithm even controls the turret, or maybe the AI. Maybe you have a computer driver and the human controls the turret, or maybe all sorts of options. I don't think we need to do that part. So that's been something I've been wanting for a while, and obviously we don't have it yet. And it occurs to me that maybe we're looking at it wrong. Maybe instead of trying to set up a way to control the bot on, direct have the computer on the bot be able to control itself. Maybe we could have a programming model, and then anyone can program their own AI control their own computerized control. So that I guess you could break David Hasselhoff out of prison there. And so, one obvious example of this is Minecraft, where kind of becomes not just anybody can program really fancy stuff, but even it can be used for people just getting familiar with programming. And so here we have this physical thing. And when I was thinking about that, that kind of reminded me of um, turtle graphics. Uh, so there is a programming language called Logo that where you control this thing called a turtle. And I've since discovered that there's even a turtle graphics module for Python. So you could go and experience same kind of turtle graphics thing on a more modern language. So what if the turtle was one of these robots? So that might be something that that makes fun is to introduce this this programming mode. We don't need to play that again. Oops, there. And of course, there's this big question: what else? The whole idea with the running robots is we want it to be fun. So, what do you think would be fun? Let's have that conversation too. So, I hope you're interested in this in working on running a robot. We're going to continue to try to evolve it to be this really fun thing that everyone wants to play and extend and do new and unexpected things with. So, hope to see you on the team.